Hey Ash, this is part 2 in the tutorial videos for you. So as I said, once the kids have got a basic grasp of the basic tools, as I said, give them about 5 to 8 minutes sort of thing to have a play with that. At which point you'll then need to call them back and do the demo on the house. So basically the demo goes a little something like this. So you just basically start new. No, I don't want to save anything. And basically just pull out, in fact I'm just going to zoom out a little bit here, use the rectangle tool and just pull out a rectangle sort of about that size, and then use your push pull tool and just bring it up. If you're doing a single story house, then you just bring it up sort of past the head. If you're doing double story, you can bring it up a little higher. So I might bring mine up to about there, and then you've got your basic sort of block for your house. Now, the kids would be all fine at doing that, but it's the next part that you're sort of adding to the lesson, I guess, teaching a new tool as you go with every sort of little extra bit that you give them. So what we want to do is create a pitched a pitched roof. So I'm going to use the line tool here, and I'm just going to go across. And one thing to note when you're talking to the students is that it's actually smart in its detection here. Like, it can detect an end point and it can detect a midpoint when it goes blue. So I'm going to draw a line from one side over to the other. Just make sure it's nice and straight when it's red there, and detects the midpoint at the other side. So basically you've got a line sort of dividing your roof in half. At which point now that you're going to use the move tool to grab that line and just pull that up. And the kids will probably go, "Ooh, that's pretty fancy." And you get a sort of pitched roof that kind of looks like that. So next thing that I would do is usually I might add some extra detail. I might add, let's say for example, I'm just going to draw a rectangle like so. Oop, not that tool. And then I could use the push pull tool and sort of push that. Come on. Push that in a little bit further there. And this could be like the carport or the garage part, if you like, whatever it may be. When it comes to doing windows, what I usually do is something like this. I might grab a rectangle and I might kind of go, okay, that's a very large window. It's really not very realistic in terms, but draw a rectangle and then just get the push pull tool and just push it back ever so slightly. And I might create a door sort of down the front here, and again use the push pull tool and push that back in. I could actually do a doorway on the side here. And I might actually push that through into here and cut that out. You'll notice when you actually push through, it actually does cut something out. If I wasn't happy with like the width of this door, I could actually just use my push pull tool and grab that surface there and pull that towards me. So I might add a little bit more detail, maybe another window there, say, and just push that in a little bit. And I could go on and just keep on building all of these windows in here. We're not too fussed about kids getting absolute beautiful sort of scales and proportions here. I mean, you got to remember, this is like the first time they've done it, and they really just sort of want to play with it. In terms of me putting on, I might as well just finish this and put another window in here. This is looking actually pretty dodgy, actually, but don't worry yourself too much about it. All the kids want to see is that there are commands that you can perform, and you can get a desired result. We'll have one window there. Great. Now, one thing to note, I'll just show you about putting materials on things. You may have looked at this already, but if you go up to the paint bucket here and basically come down to materials, you'll have things like, for example, where's glass? Where's glass? Translucent. And I can choose a glass there and just click glass, 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 glass. Kind of get the idea, and the kids will probably go, hey, what's going on inside, and all of that sort of stuff. But don't worry about it. Tell them it's really not a realistic way in terms as to how you would actually design a house if you're an architect, of course, but this is just sort of rough modelling. If you have a look in here, you'll also notice that there are things like, where is it, roofing. So you could choose a tile for the roof. Pretty basic stuff, and just close that out. In terms of extending it, so what I'd probably do is get them to go away and start modelling up a basic house. And you might give them, sort of about 10 minutes to go around and sort of you figure out how they're going and just jolly them along and give them some praise, and all will be happy days. At which point you'll probably notice that there's a few kids who are really sort of flying with this sort of stuff, at which, and you really want to kind of extend them a little bit. So what I'd be doing there is saying, pausing everybody, getting them to come back for a quick little demo and just say, okay, what if we wanted to build a veranda around this house? So I might just go on this side here, and I'm just going to draw a rectangle. Oop. Sorry, here we go. Maybe a rectangle that kind of looks like that, and find that and kind of just pull that out. Oop, don't pull that up. And then underneath that, if you have a look underneath, I'm just going to draw a couple of squares and pull that down. Now, if you notice when I pull this down, if I pull down to here, so you're actually touching this bottom surface here, what it does is it makes it the same as. So that's a nice little feature to show the students, rather than having them sort of guesstimate where it should go. And I'll just draw another big post there. Again, really rough. I'm not too concerned about how big those are going to be, because I can use that push-pull tool to pull things in and out. So there you go, there's a bit of a deck there, let's say. And then I might actually, excuse me, build a bit of a wall. Around here. At which point you're now talking about safety to the students. Think about safety when they're designing. And I'll just finish that off. So yeah, you can kind of bring it over and match that surface there. And then of course, obviously, people are going to say, oh, but there's no door out there, so I need a door. And just push that in. So you can do all of that sort of stuff to kind of extend the kids. They can go and put their material colours on, or go and find some bricks or something like that. What have we got? Brick. Probably going to look pretty awful with this sort of stuff. There you go. You get the idea anyhow. That stuff's really easy. It's just like paint, basically. Couldn't get any easier, really. Alright, so another extension activity. So you might have, you might say to the kids, okay, think about a skate park. So off to the side of your house, you might create something over here. Another rectangle. Push-pull to lift up.